Welcome, welcome. Oh no, I'm fired. Hold on. Don't fire me just yet. How is everyone? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Yeah, so definitely some interesting developments going on. I just wanted to kind of touch base and kind of just give my thoughts as far as where we're at and what we can expect, at least in the short term here, because I know like the markets are being all over the place. So we're going to do some TA here, look at the charts and get like some short term. So just before I get started, just want to make sure, can you hear me? Just let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Yeah, because these, the short term, even with the volume we were just talking about, like the volume is, we're seeing some spikes, but I have a theory on us as to why we're seeing those spikes, but I'll hold that for a couple more days to confirm it, but I'll do the TA and stuff for today. Okay, great. Everyone can hear me. So as far as for Doge, we're looking here. We're rising up. We're coming up closer to our 21 EMA, which is great. Even for if you're looking to just maintain the previous trend and stuff like that, you're going to need to kind of hang out around like that 21 EMA. If not, then you are just mathematically going to set a lower high. So it's great as far as for Dogecoin is getting the reaction, and also with the spike and stuff that we've seen with Bitcoin, it's great that you're still getting like those reactions and stuff, because I know a lot of times the question is, oh well, since Bitcoin is like an institutional favorite, blah blah blah, is Doge still like attached to it, or will it come a day when it won't react when Bitcoin gets like that big push? And we see here that that is in fact still the case. So on the next bull run turnaround in the cycle, you can expect some stronger price reactions and stuff like that. So, but ultimately, yes, it's still a roller coaster. We still haven't broken out of the bridge here, and I don't believe we get like some concrete information. So I am still expecting that sideways movement, and we're pretty much coming close on it. I think we should make contact around March 8th, so within the next week or so. But that doesn't mean that's going to have like a break to the downside or something like that, just because I know it's a downward trajectory. But it just means that this bridge here will just no longer be respected, and we'll be in a position to start a new trend. But we're coming up on the 21 EMA, which is great. And I know a lot of times people are looking for the market maker here, apparently, which is Bitcoin, and you're seeing the big candles here today, and like, oh my God, is this, is it over, or is it still going to have the correction as far as for in Bitcoin? Nothing in the market that has caused or initially put the panic in the market has changed. So this is, and I've put this out a number of times, and you can look at a bunch of, I don't know, whoever your favorite investor is, and they'll tell you, you'll normally see something about chasing the green candles. Like there will be like pumps and different rallies and stuff like that inside of this, but outside of the actual catalyst, for the negative catalyst at least, nothing has changed. Nothing has been resolved with the Russia-Ukraine situation. Nothing has been resolved with the Federal Reserve interest rates, rate hikes. None of this information, all this is TBD. So, in the meantime, you can have people say, okay, well, this is, in times of war, we're going to use like a Bitcoin or something like that as a form of like a hedging. And you can see some people that come in are going to try and do this with Bitcoin. Most people at this point state, I think that one day we'll probably be at that point where people will more than likely try and hedge with cryptocurrency. But as of right now, I do believe that most money will flow into physical gold and gold ETFs, just like it has historically. I just don't believe we're at that point where most people are going to hedge with crypto, even though crypto is still a growing market. I just don't believe we're at that point yet. So I do expect gold ETFs and stuff like that to have some spikes. Probably people investing in oil, crude, and Brent. I'm expecting those, and I'm expecting some of these rallies here. But remember, we've been here with Bitcoin. We were here a few weeks ago, and we got the final rejection at around 45.9, 45.8. And we got somewhat of a rejection. Well, let me say somewhat. We definitely got a rejection. What is this? 44.143. And we're developing a red candle so far. So even when it comes down to like breaking like the trends and stuff like that, that's just because of what's going on. Even if we got closer to like the 44.50 range, I wouldn't necessarily say, oh my God, this is like a trend reversal, just because of the extremes that are going on right now in the market. So that's why you can have like these wild swings to the downside. You'll see Doge kind of hit 10, get a strong rejection, then bounce back up, and then you're going to have these swings to the upside too as well, because it's hard. You can't really chart war. Like, it's that's an emotional thing, and we know how the market reacts to emotions, especially into that extreme level, and it's really difficult to chart something like that. So for March, we still have the Fed meeting roughly in 16 days. And I mentioned this in my last video. And unfortunately, when it comes down to numbers, mathematics, and inflation, it doesn't matter what's going on in our larger market. You can't just say, oh, well, we got, it's unfortunate, people are getting hurt, people are dying, there's a war going on, this isn't a real great time inflation, let's kind of push that off. So like mathematically speaking, those adjustments are still going to have to come out. So when it comes down to like, okay, we're going to have a stiff correction in March, it's hard to say, because I think that now with all of the unknowns and all of this breaking news that's coming out like every 5 to 10 minutes about like Russia and Ukraine and nuclear weapons, now that word is being used a lot, it's going to be really difficult. We're going to see some wild swings there for sure. Now that they're using, the nuclear word and stuff like that. But I do believe that because of these catalysts, especially if things have not de-escalated as we get closer to the March 16th date, the Fed meeting, I do expect that they will not be as aggressive as probably they were intending, or as they should, just because they don't want to create another negative catalyst for the market. So at least not right now. We have 7 meetings this year. So we have the potential to get a rate hike at each and every meeting if they deem so necessary. But I'm expecting like a 0.25% this on March 16th. I'd be really surprised if they do anything more aggressive than that, just because of what's going on, and they don't want too many anchors to the market right now, in my opinion. And the only reason I'm saying that is just because how Jerome Powell has been over like the last few meetings, and like in their statements, and they've been kind of like tiptoeing and avoiding questions as far as for how aggressive they were going to be. And this was prior to the invasion. So they were tiptoeing around questions, not answering how aggressive they were going to be, how many rate hikes there were going to be. Everything was, I don't know. We'll have more information closer to the date, blah, blah, blah. And this, if you couple that with invasion, I strongly believe that we're going to see something less aggressive. So we may not, mathematically, we're going to have that money come out of the market. And from what I understand, there's still not going to be any more QE. So we are going to get a sense of what the market is capable of on its own without the government intervention. But I do believe that we're not going to have that immediate vacuum that initially we're going to have, just because of all the things that are going on. I don't believe that they're going to cause both panic international and nationally. So I believe if they can, they're kind of going to prolong that to try to smooth things out. So that's where I'm at with BTC and Doge. So we're kind of gonna have to play the pretty much play a short game here to kind of see like what's coming out and the news and stuff like that to see how aggressive they're going to be. But ultimately, mathematically, inflation is going to have to be dealt with, and the currency, the money that's in there, is also going to have to be dealt with. So that doesn't change anything. We have QE, and this has been, they delay markets all the time like they did in 2018. So it doesn't change anything in the long game, but because of what's going on, the short game can certainly be affected. Let's see. Bro, both BTC and Doge went up. Yeah, well, Doge is going to get a reaction from BTC as long as the institutions are spreading money out. And I do believe there's going to be, I don't know how long you've been in the chat, but I do believe there's going to be a portion of people that are going to hedge, or maybe even this is institutions looking to help Ukraine or something like that. So I believe that you'll see some money flow into BTC. But again, like we saw this rally similar about 2 weeks ago. So the crypto market is going to be very volatile over the next few weeks. We have the nuclear word being thrown around. So I'm not expecting, it'll be really difficult to chart because that is like extreme fear. So it's not necessarily going to be something that you can chart very accurately, but you can kind of have like an idea. So I'm expecting wild swings here, but we haven't broken even the last trend yet. So and again, war, invasions, interest rates, Fed hikes, tapering, all of these don't scream certainty or stability and for a market. So do what you want with your portfolio, but I wouldn't go chasing green candles here, because this thing can change at the moment's notice. So just kind of keep that in mind. As I always say, if you're investing, it's okay to do some, every week, every 2 weeks and stuff like that. But, just give yourself the opportunity to catch some of those dips and some of those further corrections with the news and stuff that's coming out. Let's see. I think Doge is going back to 10, 11 cents again. It's possible. We got a strong rejection off of that 10 cents, but there's so much unknown factors in the market right now, internationally and nationally. Like, so March is going to be an incredible month for an indicator of how the year is going to turn out. March is going to be a really incredible month. So March, we're going to be able to use March as like the measuring tape for how aggressive, how bullish or bearish we can expect like the next quarter to be. So we're going to have to keep our ears to the ground. Of course, I'll be doing that. I'll be reporting here to you guys, so I'll let you know what I think. But yeah, there's a lot of things that's up in the air right now. So did you catch Adam Aaron's tweet today? I don't believe so. I've been running around a lot today, but I haven't caught anything as far as in particular. I have to check it out. But let's see. Goes to the moon. There we go. Thanks for answering my question. No problem. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to come on because I know that you'll see like these rallies and stuff like that. A rally doesn't freak me out any more than a dip down, especially when you have the type of macros that we do that's going on. There's the two biggest things for the financial market, which is going to be our international situation and potential for war with Russia and Ukraine. And then, of course, our Fed situation with interest rates and stuff like that. Both of them are bearish, both of them. And it's uncertain. So for me, a green candle, like that doesn't excite me as far as to like make me want to jump in and pour my money in and just be like, oh my God, this is the bottom. We've bottomed out. And we're going to take off to the moon. There's absolutely no evidence of that, like zero. So I still believe that this is more of a dead cat bounce and just probably some portfolios being rebalanced more so than I believe we bottomed out and are getting ready to hit like new all-time highs and stuff like that. So So I haven't seen any evidence for me to kind of like change my mind about that. He talked about Doge and Sheba launches. Okay, I have to check that out. Are you talking about for the AMC? Yeah. So initially he said that Doge and like the integration to accept payments and stuff like that, that was due in March, which is technically like the last quarter. He's expecting that. So I'm expecting that news and stuff like that. So if that's what you're referring to, yeah, I was definitely expecting that sometime this month. And he said they were still on track. He said it's about, I think in January, he said they were still on track to finish in March. So, that's great. And again, I still believe that is our greatest form of utility. So greatest opportunity at utility and to remove some of those excess coins. So I'm definitely excited about the AMC integration. Let's see. The next Fed meeting is on March 16th, and on March 19th, AMC will be accepting Dogecoin Pay. We will balance out if we dip. Yeah, that'll be, and that's really just up to us. We're going to have to make sure that, we are doing, just having the support for the AMC integration. I think that if we show up with the aggressiveness for AMC's integration that we did for Elon, I guess Tesla merge announcement, we are going to, that'll be a really big domino in removing the meme coin stigma and stuff like that from the market. So I think that if we show up with that aggressiveness, we're going to be able to work wonders for Doge overall and really position ourselves and have that staple of utility and give us really like those roots to survive whatever is coming, bear market, war, whatever the case may be. This will be a gateway for that utility and longevity for Doge. So that'll be absolutely great. Let's see, 85 in chat, the word about David Mitchell Jr. Thank you. I appreciate you. The like button. Yeah, definitely hit the like button if you haven't yet. Let's see. Why it seems Doge pumps less on green days, but drops more on red days, percentage-wise. Yeah, Doge is going to be more volatile and stuff like that, and easier to go down to the downside. See, when you have most of the coin, when you have a coin like, I guess if you're comparing it to Bitcoin or something like that, you have institutions. Institutions, especially when you're a whale in the market, you're going to be less likely to paper hand if there is, some volatility in the market and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that are in Doge right now that are scared, they're uncertain, and they're trying to kind of like figure out, like where the bottom is and stuff like that. So it's easier for it to have a extreme to the downside versus the upside, because even on the upside, you'll have shorts come in, you'll have people come in that are looking to, trade, make quick profits and stuff like that. And then once you have that momentum or the volume kind of drops down, people are going to panic, sell off, or just stop buying and kind of see what happens. So you typically are going to have a little less of that in Bitcoin, because outside of the institutions and stuff like that, the actual retail that's in Bitcoin, they're super bullish. So, you're not going to have like those extremes like that. So that's just my opinion as far as why Doge has those extremes like the downside. eBay to accept crypto, including Doge. Yeah, I heard something about that. I got to do some research. I may cover it tomorrow. I'll do some research and some compiling, and I'll put some my 2 cents out on tomorrow. Let's say he said this might rev up the crypto fans amongst you. AMC, it says that BitPay will be live for AMC online payments on our website by March 19th and on live on our mobile apps by April 16th. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, because a lot of times people ask me if he was going to use BitPay. I wasn't sure. I know Mark Cuban went that route with the Mavericks. So I guess it's more so of like an easier like system to integrate. I don't know. But, as long as it's there, it still like it's not going to like not benefit Dogecoin or anything like that. So, I'm happy with the just the integration in general. So I'm happy with that. So BitPay Doge payment is kind of a bridge for a real catalyst. Yeah, I mean, we have a few bridges. We still have like the well, I don't know, because I know like Vitalik spoke out like on the Russian stuff like that with Ethereum, but we still have like an update due for Doge and the Ethereum bridge so that we can kind of break our way into like the NFT market. So, I still think that's a big catalyst because I do believe that the NFT market is going to grow and expand as well. But yeah, you're right. So do you think the crypto market is going to go up? I think it's going to be volatile. I just, because it's hard to chart what's going on right now. I can look at like fundamentals, EMA stuff like that, and just characteristics, but it's not, with the news that's coming out, and now that they're playing with like nuclear, not necessarily they're playing with nuclear weapons, but the verbiage is there. It's hard to chart that, but I just do believe there's going to be some extreme swings. But when it comes down to whether the market's going to go into like a bull run or something like that, I would find that hard to believe at this point, just because both of the major catalysts financially for the markets are uncertain and technically bearish. There's not, you can't, it's just, that's major uncertainty. And typically speaking, you don't have these types of runs that, or typically you don't go into a bull market with uncertainty. So especially something like a war or, potentially the highest inflation in the last 50 years and stuff like that. That's not necessarily bullish terminology. So, we may have some swings, but I don't think that we're going to like go continue the bull market, especially not right now. Thank you for your help, David. No problem. I mean, Robinhood is for 18 years and older. How do we get teens to spend crypto? That's an excellent question. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. That's an excellent question because the teens do like to go to the movies a lot too. So that's an excellent question, actually. I have to look into that. I don't have the answer for that. Let's see. Mr. David, you were very early with Doge. You and Doge are about to shine. It's coming. You do great work. Thank you. I appreciate you. Do you know if the Doge one is still set for the beginning of April? I haven't heard much discussion on the Doge one. I have to do some more like research to kind of get like some confirmations. The last one that I actually saw, because I know we've heard about like October and all this kind of stuff like that, but the last one update that I saw online was for like late March, April. So as far as I know, that's still the case, but don't quote me on that. Let's see, what's my year-end estimate for Doge and why? Just kind of like just what I said, just because of the nature of the two major catalysts in the financial markets right now. I can't give like a projection like that far out. It'll be difficult at this point. That's why even I started with this chat saying, okay, we're going to take a look at the short term. So I think that, especially this month, you will kind of have like an idea. I do believe that March is kind of going to be like the measuring stick for at least the next quarter based off of what the Feds do. And we'll kind of have an idea of what direction we're going to go with, like Russia and Ukraine situation. So as of right now, it's too far out, too many variables to give like a decent range or anything like that. But I think after March, which is what I've been waiting on, even outside of the Ukraine-Russia situation, I've been waiting on the Fed's meeting. So I'll be able to better have an idea when we see like the aggressiveness that they're going to take around mid-month. Let's see. Just tell them it's going straight to the moon, David. No, I can't. No, I will never. Let's see, and make a shocked face for the thumbnail. That face is not in my personality. Like I did like maybe like 2 thumbnails like that, and I felt like a complete idiot. And I was like, never again. I was like, if that's what it takes to, have an audience on YouTube, then it just won't be for me. I'll just have a smaller channel or something like that. That is not in my personality to do the clown thing. I'm not gonna say it's a clown because it works for some people, so I won't be negative. But for me, it's not. It's not in my personality. Um, let's see. It said more lies and the truth is not needed, and the truth is on the side of Russia. What's that? Kind of stands with you, brothers. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. What is best case scenario for crypto during the Fed meeting in March? Best case scenario for bullish on crypto is basically for the Fed to be like, "Hey, look, we don't know if we're going to be going to war or not. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's not add to the turmoil, and we're still going to have to deal with inflation, but let's just give this some more time to kind of resolve itself. So we're going to do 0.25%, and we'll meet back in a month or so and kind of see how it's going." That is best case scenario for the crypto market not going to hell or spreading more fear here at home as well. So, and I believe that that's very likely, to be honest with you. I believe that is very likely. Oh, David, what's your favorite number? 7. Hello. I honestly think we're still going to take out last month's low. Hey, the catalyst is still there. The catalyst is still there. Thanks for the answer. No problem. That's it. I was wondering, what is your background in finance? I just started out, but I was curious how you learned everything you do. Always grateful for having knowledgeable people like you on the Doge team. Thank you. No, actually, I won't say I'm like a nerd or anything like that, but I started reading pretty much like any type of finance book I could get my hands on, like 9th, 10th grade in high school. And, I've done everything from like the conferences to just really just divulging myself in there and looking at stock patterns, the trends, just comparing them overall. And, I have like mentors and stuff as well, just to kind of, we meet up occasionally, do like lunch and just bounce ideas off of. But I don't want to say like I'm self-taught because there's a lot of people that have influenced me. I like Warren Buffett. Tony Robbins has a really great book out. I put it in the community section. Robert Kiyosaki as well. His book, Increase Your Financial IQ, is really, I don't like some of his later books, but that book is really great. Unfair Advantage was incredible. I read that, I think, like my junior year in high school or something like that. And that's really what kind of like opened my eyes and took me down like this actual journey. But, as far as looking at like the markets and stuff like that, it's, the more you read, the better. And I put like my book recommendations in the community section, but when you start like reading and comparing like the actual like numbers and seeing how they like relate, I just kind of gravitated toward like a fish in water to not like bragging or anything, but it's just like a natural like attraction to me. As far as for college and stuff like that, I went for business, so it wasn't necessarily like finance or anything, but it's just more so like a natural attraction for me. And I've done like sales and stuff like that. So I know I'm getting like way off topic here, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's just a natural like attraction for me. You said David's O face. Never. Moon boys. You guys really attached to that Moon Boy statement. Let's say David Doge AO. Hey David, press the little red button, the one that says sell. It's heading lower. Now go back to sleep. If you say so. I like to diversify what I watch. I watch them all. I think I've learned a bit from everyone. Thanks a lot for the free school, including you, David. I watch you in the regular. No, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. I said, David, do you think the AMC integration will be strong enough, a positive catalyst to negate or defeat any negative catalyst, or should we still expect a downward trend? It depends on what catalyst you're speaking of, because ultimately, Doge is not the trendsetter for the market. So if we see major sell-offs, or we go to war and institutions decide, okay, we're going to rebalance our portfolios, or a lot of the liquidity in the market comes out because the Feds are being aggressive this next month, Doge, despite us going to the movies, we're not going to send Doge to like $2, and while the crypto market is going the opposite direction. So the catalyst will weigh heavy, but I think the AMC integration, where it is most beneficial to us, is going to be the utility that it brings, and also the lifeline that extends to, despite what happens, whether we go to war or there's a bear market or liquidity issues, double-digit inflation, all these things that are looming out there, this will give that pathway for Doge to come out on the other side. I don't know if you're watching my other videos, but I mentioned that a lot of these cryptos, like if we go to war, or if we have double-digit inflation, and when did leave the market, a lot of these coins you're hearing about, you're never going to hear about them again. So I think that is where the AMC integration is going. It's not necessarily saying it's going to defeat a negative catalyst, but it'll be like that breath of air that will make sure, it's gonna be like another leg up for Doge to make sure that it comes out on the other side of this. I think that is where it's going to shine more, so that it like defeating negative catalysts and stuff like that. What's the best way to learn how to read candlesticks? God, there's a book. I know something with it's a wizard on it or something. It's not Market Wizard. It's another book. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but I'm actually doing a series. I'm working on, even with the psychology of investing and stuff like that. I'm planning out a series of those to put on here, just to kind of like help, because I do believe in like the teach a man to fish thing. So so that you guys can just do charting and stuff like that for yourself. So I'm putting together a bunch of that stuff to release on here. Because candlesticks, it's not complicated, but if you don't know what you're looking at, you can misread a chart. I'll say that. So I'm putting together something for you guys on here. So just it should come out. I'm expecting it to be finished this month, actually. So I don't have a date yet, but if you just check in on my channel this month, you'll see I'll put some updates in the community section, because I do want to do something on charting and options as well. Let's see, David, what's going on, man? Which do you think will occur first, Doge 1 or AMC squeeze stay green? I'm still expecting a move up in AMC, first quarter. So pretty much this month in March. As far as for the Doge 1, I still have to get like a concrete date for when that's supposed to go. I haven't seen like an official announcement or something like that on that yet. So it's hard to say which one will go first, because even with like rocket launches and stuff like that, we can easily have, like Putin say something and they will, oh, we're delaying it, so, I'm from Florida. I've been to Kennedy Space Center a bunch of times and was supposed to see launches and stuff like that. And they literally, like, the wind blows too hard or it changes direction and they cancel it. So it's hard to say, but I'll say I am expecting, I can't say the squeeze is going to happen in March, but I am expecting a massive move up. So I'll just go with AMC. Let's see. I thought 2022 was supposed to be a good year for Doge. I don't believe, I'm not saying, I don't think that it's necessarily not going to be a good year for Doge. As far as for the catalyst and stuff that we have, those are all still positive catalysts for Doge. It's just that, the positive catalyst isn't going to defeat a war or us having the worst inflation in like any of our lives. So the positive catalyst will keep Dogecoin alive, which is what's best. And we'll see, if we do have that consolidation in the market, when the market does turn around, we'll see, the true evaluation, while a lot of these other coins cease to exist. But overall, I still believe that Doge is still going to have an incredible 2022. So I think that even if Doge didn't set a new all-time high in 2022 because of these major catalysts, and we just stacked up utility, that'll be the best thing ever to happen for Doge as far as stacking up that utility. Because once we have the utility there and people are able to actually use the coin for what its purpose, at that point, it's just a mathematical amount of time before you have that strain on the existing supply. You're going to see the appreciation in the coin. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down here because I'm like way behind in the comments. Let's see. Well handled. Appreciate the response, man. No problem. Thanks, David. I'm glad I just found your page. You rock, dude. Blessings to you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see. I need Doge to hit 50 so I can buy a car. I said, do you still believe this crypto pump to be a dead cat bounce? I learned my lesson chasing green candles and considering all the world issues. I have found a hard time getting excited. What's next? Yeah. So I don't know what point you jumped into the chat, but yeah, that's pretty much where I see things are at. Just a brief recap. Both of the major catalysts in the market right now are not bullish. And there's mass uncertainty with both of them, and that's war and Fed. So despite the green candles and stuff like that, I would find it difficult to for us to have like a bull run in the markets and for it to be maintained. Now you will have some assets that you may see like some spikes into, and I think that you can probably see that with like Bitcoin or something, like maybe if institutions come in and say, okay, well, we're going to, hedge ourselves with Bitcoin. I don't know what that spike will look like because I just know that the crypto market hasn't reached its full potential. So I still will say that a lot of people are still going to go to gold and gold ETFs to kind of hedge themselves. But it doesn't mean that Bitcoin cannot get some of that price action. So I think that that's possibly where we can get some of the green candles and stuff that we're seeing now. But just going forward, it's just that we're going to have to see, and I'm using March as that time frame. We're going to have to see how this plays out with like the Fed meeting and what if there's any type of resolutions. 'Cause I think that Putin and the president of Ukraine are supposed to do like another meeting or something like that. So this is more so just, like short term, kind of like weighing like the odds and stuff here to kind of see if there's going to be a resolution. But short term, it's just mass uncertainty. And unfortunately, you can't necessarily chart, panic in war or double-digit inflation or the threat of double-digit inflation or the interest rate being too gentle at first and them having to come back and adjust it. But I'll say that in the event that either one of these things came out, whether we went to war or the Fed had to be aggressive, those are not bullish items. So let's be cautious going forward. And if you are investing now, just like I said, like last week or so, not saying that you can't invest now, but if you have a large sum of money, just kind of spread it out. Just spread it out and give yourself that time, that window, so that in the event we have that breakdown, you're able to be more aggressive versus, just coming all in right now. Let's see. David, the pattern Bitcoin had back in 2017 looks a lot like the pattern that's playing now. Hopefully, I'm making sense. Do you see Bitcoin going to around 400K according to what played out then? I do believe that at some point we're going to have six-figure Bitcoin. I do believe that. Like that's, I stand firm on that based off of just mathematics and the growth of the expansion of the crypto market in general. But it's just that in my belief that we're going to have that retraction prior to us going into that space. Now, again, something could change here. If we get into like some nuclear, some stuff, like I can't chart that, so because there's a lot happening right now. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. But long term, yes, I do believe that we're going to see six-figure Bitcoin. Let's see. I've noticed a matter on Twitter regarding a new coin called Sheba Doge. Have you looked at this, into this? If so, what are your thoughts? I have not looked into this. And just by the name, I don't like it. I don't like anything that it's just, for me, I just, when you have a coin, if it's great, it should be able to stand and compete on its, because I get the idea of naming coins that, after coins that are already popular, because it kind of just gets you notarized and it kind of cuts out the growth phase. But, I need to see something, I need to see more merit otherwise, besides you being popular because you named your coin after another popular coin, you know. Um, um, I use the example, if I created a Walmart, Amazon, or something like that, what is the substance of my company besides it being named after two popular companies? So that's how I look at that. I have to look into it, but typically when I see stuff like that, I get turned off immediately, and I usually look no further, because to me that shows lack of effort by the devs, and typically that means that the coin, is just mostly, to me, that just screams cash grab. So typically I'm a little weary of coins like that. So, hey, David, glad to see you on. There's been a lot of talk about raise and hikes since December, when the Fed stated they were raising in March. Do you think the Fed knew trying to keep Doge and crypto down for a reason? No, I don't think that the Fed, even right now, I don't think that the Federal Reserve, I think that that's more of the SEC that cares about crypto and like Doge, Bitcoin, stuff like that, and those prices. I think that's more of the SEC. But the Fed, no, I don't think they care about crypto. I think that their concern is the interest rates. Because so they have two primary functions, right? Market participation, which is jobs. How many, job ratio to employed to unemployed ratio, and inflation, right? Those are primarily the two jobs, which is to make sure that we are around 2%. We have a healthy inflation rate, balancing books, debt and stuff like that. And primarily when one of those gets out of whack, they can influence each other. So I think that that is the primary focus, is that, okay, well, if we have this runaway inflation, what are the what are the effects this is going to be on like the job market? Or are we going to put a squeeze on the market and hey, okay, we're going to have to raise wages, raise minimum wage and stuff like that? Is this going to put a squeeze on a small business sector? So you have like that domino effect, and I think that's more so what they are focused on, versus keeping an eye on like crypto prices and stuff like that. I do believe the SEC views crypto as a real threat, but I don't think it's necessarily coming from the Fed. Like those two entities they focus on two different things. So that's where I think that comes from. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to look at a couple of the counts and stuff like that. So I think that we're going to have to use March as like a major measuring stick for this year. This is going to be, March is going to determine pretty much like what kind of year we're going to have. So a lot of the catalysts, what's going on, I know, not to get into like politics and stuff like that, but you have to look at the macros and see how this is going to play into the market, because it does have an effect. Like our economies are really intertwined, sometimes even more so than you know. Hey, David, this is Jenna Stone Cipher. I hope you're doing well. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Thank you. No problem. I will do. So we're just gonna have to keep our eye on that, and for this month, and CPI and stuff like that, is making sure that we are on track here to see what we're going to get from the Fed here, because ultimately, outside of going to war or something like that, the Fed is still a pretty big deal. I know that based off of the news and stuff that you're watching, it may not get talked about, but please do not sleep on the Fed and our interest rate, and the fact that we are threatening, in my opinion, I believe we're already in double-digit inflation, but they haven't announced it yet. But we are threatening massive inflation here, and war certainly doesn't help. So don't sleep on that at all. So we're gonna keep our ears to the ground. I'm gonna make some updates as far as like some of like the catalysts and stuff tomorrow, and do some long TA. So tonight we focused on short term. So tomorrow I'll do some long, potentially like through Q2, and we'll see what everything is looking like. So with that, yeah, hit the like button, share the video with someone, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more from me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.